News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. President Trump says Iran is ready to make a deal to end the war, but the U.S. wants better terms. The president didn't say what those terms were, but in a phone interview with NBC News, dismissed concerns about rising gas prices. Trump also hit Truth Social yesterday, calling on other countries to send warships to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Associated Press correspondent Philip Crowther is covering that from a region near the waterway in the United Arab Emirates.
What President Trump is doing, he's maybe enticing other countries to get involved in what would boil down to an international coalition of warships to protect these ships going in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. These are countries and companies that are very much affected by a US-Israeli war on Iran. And China is number one there because such a huge percentage of the oil that passes through the Strait of Hormuz goes to China.
AP reporter Philip Crowther on Bloomberg's This Weekend. You can watch it till 10 a.m. Eastern. Iran's foreign minister, meantime, has responded, saying the strait's only shut to ships from enemies. And oil loading operations at ports in the UAE have resumed following drone strikes yesterday that forced a temporary halt to exports. The war in Iran has been a big topic at the Indo-Pacific Energy Security Ministerial and Business Forum in Tokyo, ahead of a meeting between Japan's Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi and President Trump this week. Bloomberg's Laura Davidson is in Washington.
She has been quite critical of the U.S.'s stance in Iran, has questioned the legality of these strikes, and said she plans to have a very frank and stern conversation with Trump. So this is, we're seeing a lot of posturing from allies in the Indo-Pacific region, looking to get in the good graces of the Trump administration with some of these deals, but looking to take a stronger, firmer stance when it comes to geopolitics.
That's Bloomberg's Laura Davidson. The two leaders are set to discuss Japan's $550 billion investment in the U.S. Here at home, the chairman of the FCC is threatening to pull broadcasters' licenses now over how some networks are covering this war. We get more on that from Bloomberg's Ed Kalegi.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr has threatened broadcasters with cancellation of their licenses if they did not correct course on news coverage. Carr said in a social media post Saturday, broadcasters that are running hoaxes and news distortions, also known as the fake news, have a chance now to correct course before their license renewals come up. The law is clear. Broadcasters must operate in the public interest, and they will lose their licenses if they do not. Carr posted his warning on top of a post from President Trump complaining about coverage of the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran. Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg Radio.
Formula One has canceled upcoming Grand Prix races in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. The races were supposed to happen in April, but will not be rescheduled over safety concerns. The announcement coming ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai, bringing the schedule down from 24 races to 22.
Slava Ukraini.
President Volodymyr Zelenskiy celebrated soldiers to mark Volunteer Day in Ukraine. Awards were presented to relatives on behalf of those killed in the war, following another night of Russian missile and drone attacks. At least 4 people were killed in Kyiv. In Washington, Senate Majority Leader John Thune wants lawmakers to consider permitting and crypto bills after a partisan battle over voter ID legislation. Bloomberg's Amy Morris.
The Senate will hold an extended debate on President Trump's Save America Act this coming week. But right now, there isn't a path for the chamber to meet the 60-vote threshold or go around the rules on the bill. Thune says senators will have a full and robust debate before moving to more bipartisan policy, what he calls economic and energy policy issues. He says senators are working on a market structure bill on cryptocurrency that he hopes will come out of committee soon, and the chamber could then move on to overhauling permitting rules for energy and infrastructure projects. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
Nvidia's GTC conference kicks off tomorrow. CEO Jensen Huang will deliver a keynote and attend a news conference. Market watchers will be focused on some new product announcements, demand trends, and Nvidia's roadmap for next-generation accelerators. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.